Hi everyone, it's Stacy from PeonyLaneDesigns.com. Have you subscribed to the channel yet? If not, click the little blue button right there. Don't forget to click the subscribe button, comment down below, like this video, and click the bell icon to be notified. Okay, I very nearly didn't have a video for today. So, still recovering. I went to work today and my arm is like killing me. I don't have a clip in here. I took it out. I don't know where I did with it. I'm gonna go find it. Hang on. Okay, I don't know where it is. Whilst I was at Junk Bonanza, the husband cleaned. Oh, I can't find nothing. He didn't clean this room, so hang on. I can't use this hand right now. So my right hand, I have to use it. I can't, I'm right-handed. It's like a paradox, right? My right hand is messed up, y'all. So my right shoulder, elbow, and wrist are all really unhappy with me today after Junk Bonanza. To make matters worse, I went to work today and I have to type all day. And it was a really rough day as far as I was gone for a day and I'm backing up somebody else during their vacation time. And can you tell I'm like a half a second behind? Normally, I would take like 3 days off for Junk Bonanza, right? Like 3 days afterwards to recover. And I know why now. And Picket is next week. I don't have any time. I'm going to have to get some stuff into Picket and load it up. Nice thing is everything's in the van. So I think on Thursday... What am I doing on Thursday? I feel like I'm doing something on Thursday. Oh yeah, I got to work Vintage Junkie all day. I better remember that. I better remember I'm working Vintage Junkie on Thursday. And then Friday I'm watching my nephew again. So after lunch, after I pick Victoria up on Friday from school, I could go up there. Oh, can you tell it's cold? I'm wearing a sweater and my scarf. The scarf is now going to make an appearance every day. But anyway, we are back from Junk Bonanza and I just kind of wanted to go over my thoughts with you guys now that I've slept and had a chance to tally everything up and just kind of go over everything. So here's a few funny things happened, weird things, and things that I'm hoping got resolved because, so there was another Stacy there. And she thought everybody knew who she was because she was walking around leaving notes on other people's stuff saying she was buying it, except they kept stopping me and saying, "Did you want to pay for this?" Like, I'm not buying it. So it was odd. Then it happened to two of the Picket Feds gals, and they texted me and said, "Is this you?" And I said, "No, it's not me." And they figured out who it was. And I'm like, well, I hope she walked around and remembered everybody that she put a note on, because otherwise there's going to be some vendors who are mad at me thinking it's me. There was a couple of them that were like, "Were you going to pay for this?" And I'm like, I would never do that. I would never leave a note on somebody's stuff. I would wait till you were back. Never. I would never do that. It's like, so I hope she settled her affairs, because I'm like, it's not me. It's not me. And, you know, they're all like, "Hey, Stacy, did you want to pay for that?" And I'm like, I'm not buying anything from you. So it was awkward. It was awkward. It wasn't me. If you're watching this now and there was a Post-it note on your stuff and you didn't get paid, it wasn't me. That's all I know. Anyway, one of the Picket Fence gals also reported theft. She had somebody who pocketed a less than $20 piece, but still, that's not the point. It made me start really scrutinizing everybody that was in the booth, you know. And So my husband came in, the dog's barking, everybody's yelling. But I totaled up everything and I made my expenses back, but not if I look too closely. I made just over $500 in profit after expenses if I don't look at like each individual item and what I paid for it, because I feel like if I start picking it apart like that, I'm gonna cry. It was not a good show. It just was not a good show. I still haven't decided if I'm gonna sign up for future shows. I'm leaning towards not, but then I have to figure out what I'm doing to find another avenue of selling. And I don't know why it's not going well there and what's going on as far as why the crowds just aren't coming anymore. I don't know if it's an advertising thing, if it's a social media thing. I mean, there's probably a lot that they could do to improve it, but we had a lot of customers that complained. So I was in my booth, and I don't know, I must have that face where everybody feels like they can talk to you. So they complain, right? So here I am, and I'm sitting there, and this woman came in, and she goes, seems like there's a lot fewer vendors. Well, since they had closed off a back room, it was pretty obvious that there were a lot fewer vendors, you know? And then she said to me, so we get charged more and we get less. And I went, I don't know how much the tickets went up because it's been a long time since I bought Junk Bonanza tickets, but I can see that if it was like a significant amount that they went up. And and then you come in and the back room isn't open anymore because everybody's like, isn't there another place where they can go? And I'm like, no, this is it. They weren't happy. And it happened repeatedly. Vendors were getting anxious about it. They were getting really, really anxious because our customers are upset and we don't have a defense and we don't have any way to say, hey, but you know, except me, the spin doctor. Well, it's more of a boutique experience this way. Just call me 33 1/3 because I spin, baby, I spin. Right? So, I mean, I said to the one lady, I said, well, the fall show is always a smaller show. And it is to a certain extent, but it was, I mean, noticeably smaller this time. And then, what else was I going to tell you guys? There were so many weird things that happened. Like, I got to tell them this, I got to tell them that, I got to tell them this. The other thing that was a little, it's a little upsetting to me because there were old guard, I call them old guard vendors who made snarky comments about the Tupperware being tacky, like the Tupperware display that I had. And you know, what's sad is that they don't understand it because they're still selling Farmhouse and doing all that in that mid-century. And it's like, well, I made my rent in Tupperware. I brought 3 giant boxes of Tupperware. I took 1 giant box of Tupperware home. So it was frustrating. And then I had like really good experiences where antique dealer in Anoka who's putting together a show stopped by my booth, and he's only inviting certain vendors because he said, like, I look at your display and I know you get it. I'm like, oh, I get it. Because he said, like, the Tupperware and stuff. And I said, it's so nice that you would say that because I got negative feedback about me bringing Tupperware. And then one of the other vendors who was next to me, she said, all I'm hearing when people come around the corner is, oh, Tupperware, oh, Tupperware, oh, Tupperware. And they're all coming in and they were buying Tupperware. So it's not that it's not selling. It's just they don't like it. They don't like it. It's just, that part was really frustrating to me because I feel like there's a lot of styles I don't like, and I don't walk around going, just so tacky, I'm like, whatever. Is it selling? Hey, God bless you. Do it. I won't buy it because I got to live with it. But, you don't want to show where it's all the same, right? And that was one of the things that I complained about the social media feeds for Junk Bonanza. If you go on their social media feed, every picture looks the same. So if you're into something different from what they're showing on their feed, because if I go in and I glance at that feed, it's all brown and it's all muted tones and it's all farmhouse. Okay? I'm not into that. I'm not going. I'm going to go somewhere like Minneapolis Vintage Market where there's more upbeat, younger looking, fresher things, brighter colors. And the one vendor said, you just don't like it because they're not showing your Tupperware. And I said, no, that's not it. I'm saying there's no variety at all. Even if it's not me, they weren't showing the vintage clothing. They weren't showing, you guys can go on and look and judge for yourself. So that's what I noticed. One of the things that I noticed is if you're not displaying everything you've got, like I never once saw, they had this really cool jewelry dealer, vintage jewelry dealer. And she had these really amazing rings. Like one was $14,000, a 1930s diamond ring. Incredible display of just glitter. The yummy, yummy glitter, right? Like you see it and it's like, because it's all shiny and sparkly, and I love shiny and sparkly. And there's no pictures. Like that would be to me a marquee image. It's like have them take one of the amazing rings out or a few of them and put them out and get a really cool glittery picture to make people go, oh, look at that. Something that catches your attention. And really every picture that I saw was like these wide shots and they're all brown. You go to their feet. I'm not going to sit here and explain it to you because you'll just go, she sounds bitter, right? I'm not trying to sound bitter. I'm trying to say that's every picture kind of looked the same. And it's just, there were some other really cool, fantastic pieces. Like that guy that did the deer that I thought was amazing. And he did the wings. And I'm like, these are incredible pieces of custom-made, handmade stuff that didn't get featured. They weren't like a marquee image, like the very first picture you pick, so that if you've got a group of pictures, it's eye-catching. And throughout the weekend, it felt like there was maybe a handful of posts. It should have been like a every hour sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like picture, 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 and hammer it. We're open, we're open, we're open, we're open. And leading up to that sale, it should have been like that. But it wasn't. And then it should have been TikToks and Reels and, not just a static post. And I saw a couple of them, but video is king. It sells. Video sells. Pictures sell too, but not the same picture over and over and over again, because then people that aren't interested in that thing that you like, and I've had to do that when I do the social media for Picket. I can't focus on just the things I like. I have to take pictures of other things. Like I've taken pictures and posted them over there. I'm like, I don't even understand this or why people would want this. And somebody comes running in with the phone and goes, I need this. And I'm like, okay, God bless you. See, there's a lid for every pot. It may not be my sense of style. It may not be something I like, but I had to learn that it's not about me. It's about my customers. It's about what the customers want. And it's about bringing as many people through that door as possible. So I think there's a little naivete in the fact that I think they're riding their own coattails. Like they think because Junk Bonanza was a thing, it's going to stay a thing. That's not true at all. At all. Like everything has its day. And if you don't stay on top of being current and staying current, things start to taper off. And I think a lot of businesses that get established fall into that pattern. And I'm guessing events, where Junk Bonanza was a thing. It was a big thing, and people showed up regardless of how much advertising you did. They were waiting for it. Well, it's not that anymore. You got to work for it now. So they have to stop riding their own coattails. There, that's my opinion. That's been my opinion in my wrap-up of Junk Bonanza. I'm not going to spend too much time thinking about what didn't happen, because there's nothing I can do now to change anything that happened over this weekend. It was what it was. There's money in my bank account for a little bit. Got my money back. That's important, as long as I don't now throw good money after bad. I hate saying that, because Junk Bonanza to me was the thing. And it's like, for all those years, I was envious of Junk Bonanza. I wanted to be part of it. I wanted to shop there. I wanted to be part of it. I remember the first time I went with my mom, and it was like, wow. I mean, it was wow. And now it's just kind of like, It doesn't even take that long to get through. I mean, the one girl goes, "Is this it?" And I said, "Yep." And she said, "Well, I guess we can go back and get the stuff we saw, because there's nothing else to see." They were like waiting to go buy stuff until they saw the whole Junk Bonanza. You saw the whole Junk Bonanza. So they were disappointed, and you could tell she was like, "Is this it? Okay, I guess we go get them. Go get that stuff." It makes me sad. Makes me a little bit sad, because there's nothing I could say that's going to change that, like change what decisions they've made as far as how they're handling marketing and things like that. They have these notepads that you can put out that tear sheets, and it's like, I put 2 of those in, one in the upstairs booth and one in my downstairs booth at Pickett. And I still have 2 full pads of paper, which tells me that's not cutting it. People aren't grabbing those. They're not interested in that. It's like, that's not the way to reach people. And there were a lot of older people, which, not to be mean to people who are older, because there are some older people that still want to shop, but there's a whole lot of nostalgia tour thing happening. And when I see that happening, I realize I'm not going to make any money. Remember, Mom had that? Remember? Mom had that? My grandma had that. That exact same pattern. The exact same pattern. I know I'm not making any money. And all I can think is, please move out of my booth as quickly as possible. And that sounds mean, but they're not buying anything. They're there for the free snacks. Like the one lady who was doing that, I went to go grab some dog treats for Margot, and there was a lady selling peanuts in the hallway, or different kinds of nuts in the hallway. And she goes, "What kind of, it says you have free samples. What kind of free samples?" I thought, honey, she going to eat you out of samples, and then she ain't going to buy nothing. That's the wrong clientele. Even compared to last fall, which was right after the pandemic, and we thought that was the small one, this was even smaller. It was even smaller. And there wasn't the same energy, the same kind of crowds on Saturday. I mean, seriously, when he said they're lining up on Saturday morning, I went to the door and I looked out the door. There was like 4 people in line. Really? We're going to call that a lineup? It was a full hour before we saw anybody at my booth after that, after the doors opened. Woo. And normally, in the past, he said that, and it's like a few minutes after the doors open, there they are. There are people everywhere, and it's noisy. It wasn't even noisy, except the music from the venue. But Anyway, that's my wrap up of Junk Bonanza. I'm hopefully going to be able to do something for you guys tomorrow. I don't know, maybe clean this room. It's a hot mess in here. I don't even want to be in here. Thanks for watching, you guys. Happy junking. Bye. Visit my blog, peonylanedesigns.com, for more tips, tricks, and inspiration. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll be notified of new videos. I post every week DIY tutorials and, of course, more junkin' videos.